Morning. My name is Mchenge Nyoka. I'm a National Project Coordinator at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in South Africa, responsible for coordinating resources and activities to ensure that UNIDO projects in the sustainable energy field, climate change and industrial parks effectively implemented and that their objectives are met when it comes to achieving the success that they were meant to achieve. Well, we've got a number of active programs and projects in South Africa. One that I would like to share with you is the South African Industry Adaptation Project, SIA, which is funded by the government of Flanders. The project is aimed at accelerating the transition to a decarbonized economy by strengthening the climate change adaptation capacity of the agro-processing sector. So in this project, we do a number of activities that are aimed at strengthening the climate change adaptation capacity of the industrial sector, looking at the development of pilot projects, supporting pilot projects that are showcasing the water and energy nexus approach to climate resilience. We support industries with water and energy audits, and we also foster innovation. And one of the things that we're looking at is the sustainability of the project. So we try to build as much partnerships as possible to scale up the work. And these partnerships that we are fostering are between Flemish institutions and South African-based institutions, from research institutions to even technology providers. So we've got an active pilot currently that has been funded through the project, Tailor-Made Water Solutions. They're using a water treatment system. They're basically growing spinach in wastewater, which is quite an exciting opportunity and a project implemented by Tailor-Made Water Solutions in the Ebai brewery. We've got a partnership there with Waterloo, which is a Flemish technology provider, and AB InBev also is involved in that. And then we've got this company that was founded by Dr. Richard Taylor, Tailor-Made Water Solutions, which is responsible for the overall project implementation. Yeah, and just briefly, we are executing the project with two partners in South Africa, the National Cleaner Production Center of South Africa and the Technology Innovation Agency. Those are the partners that we are working on the project. Well, regionally, we've got one active project that I can speak on. It's the Energy Efficient Lighting and Appliance Project, which is currently being implemented in the Eastern and Southern African region, focusing on 21 countries. The overall objective of the project is to support the development of vibrant energy markets for energy efficient lighting and appliances. So in this project, we do a number of broad activities focusing on key areas. One is to look at regional integration, supporting policies and frameworks for regional integration, and also looking at market incentives to promote uptake of energy efficient lighting and appliances. Also on policy, we are looking at harmonized minimum energy performance specifications for selected products. We also enhance government capacities, looking at testing capabilities or testing facilities located within governments, and do a lot of workshops, webinars to basically equip policymakers with the necessary skills to develop policies to speak to the adoption of energy efficient lighting and appliances. And lastly, one of the biggest things that we see when it comes to energy efficiency is the awareness part of it. So we do a lot of these awareness raising initiatives by participating in conferences and hosting a number of workshops where we try to raise as much awareness as possible when it comes to energy efficient lighting and appliances. The overall goal is to basically reduce electricity consumption and demand, and basically would then lead to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So that's what we're currently doing. Well, regionally, you'd find that, countries are at different states of development. You've got your more developed economies and your least developed economies. So you can imagine that comes with different priorities, right? So you'd find that to basically promote regional integration, you still need to work out those priorities and get everyone in the same boat. What might work for South Africa might not necessarily work for another country. So you need to keep that in mind, and basically promoting dialogue between countries and knowledge sharing is one of the things that we are trying to do through the ELA project. Yes, the project that I mentioned earlier, the South African Industry Adaptation Project, is looking at specifically at the agro-processing sector, which you can stretch as far back as agriculture for primary products. So we do a lot of work there using the water and energy nexus approach to enhance climate resilience in the industry. Looking at water efficiency, energy efficiency, and the application of renewable energy to improve the adaptation capacity of the industry of that sector, and the role of innovation, the role that innovation has to play there to look at how we can minimize water usage, how we can minimize energy usage, and how we can also use renewable energy to decentralize our renewable energy our energy supplies to affected industries, especially in the case of South Africa when you're looking at load shedding. A lot of industries, including the agri industry, is very much affected by that. So the role of renewable energy then becomes very important to increase or enhance the resilience of that particular sector. Well, I mean, as you said, there's a lot that I can think of right now. One of the things that I could say, we do a lot of work around industrial parks, right? They host a number of industries and sectors, agro-processing being the most affected. And you've got also your steel and iron industry, in light of things like CBAM coming into play, that will most likely be affected by climate change and basically carbon trading and taxes. So that's one of the focuses of UNIDO. We are developing a project around decarbonizing the steel and iron industry to help it basically respond to the carbon taxes that we see coming through. CBAM is one of them. And we are looking at transitioning that industry so that it becomes competitive. And I think there's certain studies that have been released that projected that Africa will be losing a lot of money due to the introduction of such mechanisms. So there's a need for us to really transition. So our work as UNIDO is to really help with that in South Africa. And it's a project that is in the pipeline, and we hope that we get to implement it to help the industry transition.